We are live, guys. I'm Sam, Mr. Blitz there.
Jay, 1/3 of the Cyber Nerds.
And welcome to the God of War Ragnarok discussion that everyone's been waiting for. Game of the year, I don't care what anyone else says.
Highly anticipated. Highly anticipated. Do you know what? Yeah, the whole Game of the Year awards just like, bruv, we've got to bring the Sofa Awards back. I really think we've got to add in, do games, movies, television, and even consoles and trailers.
Yeah, man, makes sense. 2023, big year, a lot of things happening. But today, we're talking about one of the best games of the year, God of War Ragnarok. Woo! Guys, comments down below. What is your game of the year? What do you think about God of War Ragnarok? Because this video is about to go down for sure. And if you haven't already, make sure you go onto our patreon.com/TheCyberNerds Gaming. And we just appreciate you. Jay.
Gaming. Yeah, bruv, where do you want to start with the whole situation?
Where do I want to start? It's just a very, very good sequel. Very, very good game. Enjoyed it thoroughly from start to end. Characters legit. Voice acting's on point. Cinematically, probably one of the best games I ever played in my life. Combat, I don't know how they were going to evolve it, but they did. It's like every single penny just feels bloody worth it from day one. Yeah, that's a brief.
Nah, I'm with you on a lot of it, man. Easily my game of the year. Easily, it's the best game I've played. It's also like you're saying, a great sequel. I think one of the things that I like about it is just how, even with a new creative director and some notes, they just got it so right. And it's like, yo, I think, and I love it. And the only thing I can really compare it to is The Last of Us 2. Because it's like, when you're taking a game that's almost perfect in terms of God of War 2018, and then you're like, yo, what can we do to make this bigger and better? They do what a lot of other game companies do wrong. Other companies will we'll change the mechanics, we'll do this, we'll do that. And they're just like, nah, we'll introduce another new weapon, just like they did in the first game. We'll introduce a new character, we'll have a couple more twists and turns, do you know what I'm saying? And we'll tell a good cohesive story while having what we're known for, big, bad, gangster combat, do you know what I'm saying? And over-the-top cinematics, bruv. They do it, and then they just do it. It's like, you ain't got to do it 10 times, but you just got to do it a little bit better. And they do it, bruv. And obviously, we get spoilers, new playable character in Loki, who, for a long time, I was like, nah, look, I don't want to be able to play as him. And I think in this game, they do it perfectly, where you play as him probably 25% of the time. Which, for me, is, as someone who didn't want to play as him as a whole, it's enough to not alienate me from the game, but let me play as a new character. Which I'm going to say, I appreciate and I understand that they knew they couldn't make the game 50-50 or even close. Do you know what I'm saying? And just enough of it.
No, it's true. Like you're saying, it's just down to what the team behind it achieves, because even playing as Kratos and going over to playing as Atreus, even though they've got two completely kind of play styles, they both feel very legit to play as.
100%.
So again, spoilers, all spoiler review, guys. If you haven't clocked already, this is going to be full of madness. When and if man gets his own game,
when we're gonna leave it on when. Yeah.
I actually can't wait already, because the first time you go to play them, I was like, this isn't happening, right? This, no way. And then when it does, and you go into combat, I'm like, how does it feel just as good playing as Atreus as it does playing as Kratos? Obviously, you had a whole game with Kratos. You played with him the whole time. You only had the companion when you were just pressing square. But now that Loki's got his own moveset, they make obviously they're very good with throwing the axe and stuff. But now that Loki's main weapon is a bow and arrow, I was like, it's weird how it translates very, very well.
See, and this is what's interesting. It's when we're talking about his new game, or a game that he's going to get on his own, I'm with it. But at the same time, I didn't love the ranged combat playing as it. It's not because it's bad, it's because I don't want to do ranged combat in God of War. If you watch me play or you watch my game, I'm Kratos. I want to be up close and personal. I do throw the axe, but I like the axe in hand. Even the Blades of Chaos are my preferred weapon of choice. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I got to playing as Atreus, I spent most of the time getting in, using the bow as a, you know what I'm saying, as a weapon to hit, as a melee weapon, and going about it like that. What I do love is the sword that he picks up. Do you know what I'm saying? Which I'm hoping in the next game, if they do it, is his close combat weapon. Do you know what I'm saying?
That sword's gone, no?
Ain't it coming back?
No, bro, that sword was with Ragnarok.
Did it? It went through the thing.
Man was holding it to block Ragnarok. He was like, bye, people. You ain't seen man again.
The sword's got to come back, bro. You don't think the sword's coming back?
Unless it's indestructible. No.
I'm hoping the sword. Listen, I'm hoping the sword or a sword is Loki's weapon in his own game. Do you know what I'm saying? And I felt like this is why maybe they gave it to you for a second, just to be like, okay, look, this is the kind of thing he can use. But like, I would like something like that in the next game. But yeah, man, I think that Atreus is legit. But like, I use close quarter combat with him for the most of the time, and I feel like he works with that as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
I was about to say the same. I think that's just a testament to the combat because, like you're saying, there's ranged, especially now they introduced the spear. Like, I rarely ever use the spear with melee unless I was like, I can't bother to change.
Yeah.
So, the spear...
This is so interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
It's so interesting because I don't really like... I like the inclusion of the spear.
Yeah.
I don't really like using it. I'd rather go bare hands.
That's just my point. That's why I feel like the combat is so good because it's so ranged in how you want to tackle situations.
Yeah,
like, there's a lot of ranged moves with each weapon that you could do, and there's a lot of close combat moves you could do with each weapon. And you saying, oh, you don't like even using ranged moves even with Atreus, even though you use a bow and arrow, they give you a whole plethora of moves.
Yeah, that he can do without it.
Yeah, so I feel like that is actually legit to then how you want to play the game.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, man.
So, yeah, and that's what I was saying. In terms of combat, like, it's even just crazy in terms of, like, how varied they made everything. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, you can have ranged Kratos, close range Kratos. In terms of, like, builds of the suit, you can legitly do anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that's fire about the game. But, yeah, man, loved all of that. Loved all of that. Who's your favourite character?
Ooh, favourite character? That's actually quite a tough one because...
I just mean in general, out of all the characters, bruv,
it's tough. I was gonna go probably even with someone like Odin. You know,
Odin was tough.
This is what I feel like is actually kind of mad because Odin, we know he's the big bad, and it's so weird, yeah, because
you like him. He has likable qualities. There's something you understand about the man.
That's why I'm like, your villain has to be always good as your hero.
Yeah.
And I feel like the way they done Odin here was pretty good, but at the same time, it's like they constantly made you like him. It's like, oh, like what? How can we possibly hate Odin? We hear all these things about him, but we don't see any of them.
Yeah.
Until push comes to shove, and man then wants to show his true colors with anything and everything. So I was like, okay, here he is. Here's all his true colors. But even at the end, where he's like, I just wanted to know all knowledge.
Yeah.
Even though it would be scary to see what he would do with all the knowledge, it's like he would be at peace within himself. Maybe he would leave everyone. You don't actually know anymore.
And the thing is, it's interesting because it's like Odin's lived for so long. You've got to think at this point, what is he trying to do besides find out stuff?
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's like it's not different from the mission that Kratos is on, or 1,000 years from now, Kratos might be on. Like, bro, what are you going to be doing? It just probably just looking for relics and stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what Odin's doing. But for me, do you know what? Yeah, I think the character that I feel like I enjoyed the most was Thor.
Okay, yeah.
And the reason I go with Thor is because it's like I didn't expect to like Thor at all. And to be honest, I don't even think I like him. I think he's a cool guy or anything like that. It's just that at the end of the game, when he's stabbed in the heart by Odin, I screamed. Do you know, like, what? Is this what we're doing? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
I thought that was wild. And then other than that, bruv, Brock.
Yeah, I don't know how, yeah. Okay, if we had like a villain I would say, or did you say what? 4?
I would say 4.
And then
good guys, like
Brock is easily one of the best characters in the entire game. And it's mad, yeah, because then I would even say Sindri to.
No, see the thing is that, do you know what?
Sindri changed.
See, post Brock Sindri,
bro,
is a different guy.
Yes.
And I love what they did with him because, bruv, and this is what they do throughout the whole game. The whole game is like me hating a character, then me loving a character, or me loving a character, then hating a character, bruv. Because it was like Brock. I was like, no, I was on Brock. Brock was the only, maybe Brock and Kratos might have been the only consistent. Like, yo, Team Brock, Team Kratos the whole way.
Hey, still.
But then Atreus, I wasn't liking Atreus until deeper and later into the game till he kind of grew up a little bit, and then even Freya, I was like, oh, this crazy bitch is still after us, until she ends up being like your best companion with you. Tyr.
Yeah.
All the Tyr credit goes to Odin now, so it's like, you know what I'm saying, like. All over the place with the game, man, but it's just a testament to the storytelling and where they get you with the narrative. And I'm glad they won Best Narrative at the Game Awards. Not that it matters, but it's like there's no other game you could give the best narrative to because it's here. Like these man take time and care about it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's got to be taken into consideration when we're talking about Game of the Year, innit? Like, yeah.
But no, like you say, like I feel like the characters definitely do. Like help with the story, because obviously the story is mad basic. Ragnarok's coming, and it's like you're saying. I feel like it's the twists and turns from the characters that kind of meant like make the game the way it is. Because you know what the prophecies are. The prophecies are saying this is what's gonna happen. You're seeing these giant foretold stories. You're thinking, oh yeah, it's Tyr that's leading the war.
Yeah.
When it's actually our God of War that's going to lead the war.
Yeah.
It's Atreus that's going to do this. When you're thinking, oh yeah, it's this God that does that God that does this. You are those people that they're telling stories about. I thought that's pretty legit. And like you're saying, seeing Tyr for the first time, man's like, oh, I'm a pacifist now. I don't want to do any war. I was like,
please don't bring it back, bro.
I have to.
My chest, bro.
I have to.
I was screaming. I was screaming for bruv. Every time he came on the screen, I was furious, bruv. Did you know?
I find it so weird, because one, I was like, it makes sense there can only be one God of War per realm or whatever you want to call, like wherever Kratos goes. I was like, alright, cool. They're doing that spin. I'll take that. But then I see man fighting. I was like, what? Something ain't right. But I never knew in the back of my mind, like, it was actually Odin.
I think on the second playthrough, it's going to be very obvious what Tyr's on. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, everything he was saying, it's like, when I'm thinking back to my playthrough, I'm like, every time he spoke, I was just telling him to shut up. And it was because he's Odin. It's because he's Odin. He's the ops, and my natural ops sensor was going off the whole time, bruv, because he's just nah, man. I love that they did it, but bruv, I don't know, man. Losing Brock for that, it was, bro.
Yeah, it's a bit mad,
my chest, bro. And Mimir was agreeing with him the whole time, you know. Mimir was sus this game for a lot.
You know what I thought was going to happen? I thought Mimir is like, oh, maybe was
still working with Odin. Bro, if they pulled that off, do you know, the only reason I don't think they would do that is because Mimir, because Mimir had been through, I don't think it'd be too obvious. I think Mimir had been through so much punishment from Odin that for him to then be back on Odin's, bruv.
No, but what if that was Odin?
What, like, Mimir was Odin the whole time?
You're almost like Tyr was Odin. I can imagine like, oh, you come to the tree. Oh yeah, I've been trapped here. Only for you to be.
I just wanted to be on the quest. I wanted you to go. I told you to go kill all the Valkyries.
Yes.
I told you to do this.
Yeah.
Please stop, Sam.
But then
please.
I was like,
my mind.
That would have been too much because one, Mimir is like actually quite a legit character.
Super legit.
But it's like he's been here all this time, and I feel like we've seen that too many times in other media. We've always had this snake, but the one that we've gone to seek out. Yeah. Then I'm like.
That was captured by Odin. Makes more sense. And I like it because in the first game, and this was what it was, I was going off all the steam in the first game. 2018, yo, Tyr, the God of War, passed through realms, did this, stopped this one. I'm like, yo, I'm Kratos. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, this brother's on job. Do you know what I'm saying? So then to finally meet, man, you're like, yeah, but it's beautiful what they did. It's beautiful what they did, man. Love that, bro.
It does make sense that
Love
Odin
that.
would take man out, to be honest, because two Kratos is in the same place.
Oh,
It would be too much.
It definitely would be. I wanted to even get onto Angrboda because I thought like she was I thought she was a legit character as well, especially in terms of like unlocking things for Loki. Like, because I like Loki was always, I don't want to say mischievous, but curious. Curious about things. She had the answer, and I love that she got her own like, little story arc in there, and they do that for all the characters, man. So, like we said, narrative, fire. Love that, man.
Yeah.
What else you got, man?
Like, what else have I got? The lore, the characters are pretty.
The morphology. I don't even want to get into the morphology. The morphology of it is mad. Like, just everything. What they like. I like how they've taken Norse mythology and made it their own. Do you know what I'm saying? There's stuff in here that's gonna overlap with the MCU. There's stuff in here that's gonna overlap with real Norse mythology. But at the end of the day, this is its own thing, and it does it beautifully. So I love that as well. I love the way they do magic, the whole giants, the things like some things that you're used to hearing, like giants. We think that means people that are overly large, and here it just means maybe like beings infused with magic.
Yeah.
Some of them grow to be large, and some of them don't. That's a whole different thing. Like I love that the connection with animals and wolves, bro. It's just all fire, and then the weapons, everything in the game. Having a narrative reason for being there, I love, and I feel like that's game making, man.
Yeah, I feel like it's just one of them like Lord of the Rings type vibes that I'm getting from this game. So obviously, like you're saying, that even though they've taken a really like rich mythology, they've kind of made it their own. Like you're saying, like having that ring then become the spear that you barely ever lose. That like for that, I don't know if that. I'm guessing that ring is actually a thing, but then I don't know. I'm guessing the weapons actually knew that it's a Spartan spear blessed by Brock for Kratos. All that kind of stuff is legit, but I want to go back to you touching on giants, wolves.
I want to on the spear. There's one thing I heard about the spear, which I think was super gangster.
Right.
When you're in a fight with Heimdall, when you hit him the first time, it's the ring that cuts his face.
Is it?
Yes, and so it's like Brock made the spear. The spear turns into the ring, and the first blow you land on him is still the spear, low key. Do you know what I'm? No pun intended. Do you know what I'm saying? And I love that they had those kind of nuances in the game, and I thought that was fire as well. But go on. I didn't want to go on. I had to throw that in there because I'm gonna forget it.
No, I'm even gonna come back to all that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, like you're saying, the weapons, everything's got like a tell. But like we finally actually get to see like Dwarven magic and the reason behind it. They were saying like it's not actually a thing. It's like it's the environment around it.
Yeah.
Man taking the wind and you don't hear it anymore.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff is like pretty legit. And then again, like going back to Sindri, he was always like quite playful with the Dwarven magic. Man, like you turn around, he'll come from this way, you turn around again, he's coming from behind a door or something. I was like, how do they control such things? But when he changes, and did you notice that man didn't give an F anymore?
Yeah, he was just, bruv, I'm out.
Face,
yeah.
He would just appear, reappear. I just feel like all that kind of stuff, like you're saying, like the way they just built the world and everything's like got a reason behind it, whether it be now in your face or like, I think, what was it, or getting a reason behind it now, like for me, it's like, it's just super legit, man.
Yeah, I think the narrative alone is worth like a replay of the game, and it's just, I love it because I want to go back to the beginning where Atreus is talking to Fenrir, and Fenrir ends up in the sword, in the knife, because it's like, I on the first playthrough, I did not see that. I saw the sparks go up into the sky. I want to see it, and I know they probably put it in the game, but there's so, like, and this is the thing, God of War is so immersive, and there's so much going on, that it's like, there's something happening in the background. This is what I've realised. There's something going on in the background at all times, so when I do my next playthrough, gonna have to pay attention to that, but yeah, man. So fire, man. Yeah, so fire, bro. And
me just being like a combinational fanatic, the combat in this is like phenomenal still. Because obviously, like you said, they introduced a new weapon. They introduced like Freya as well, the sword of Loki. And I was like, at the beginning, I find it quite finicky. So I was playing with the Leviathan axe and the Blaze of Chaos. I was like, why would they say at one point, when your enemy's frosted up, you can then switch to the Blaze of Chaos. And while switching, I found it very weird to do so.
Yeah.
But then I don't know what day it was that I just switched on. That all of a sudden I would be doing a combo with, let's say, the Leviathan axe, and then while they're in the air, I would just press left or right. While in the animation, man would switch and continue doing another combo. And then from there, my mind just was mind blown how fluid,
fluid.
How fluid the combat just seems to be. I was like, rah, without like a combo model or grading system, it still feels so legit.
No, I love that, and even not as a combo master, one of the things I think there's just like after playing a game for a certain amount of time, I think your brain just starts to understand when to switch. Like even for me, it's like I said, I like to use the blades, but I always will start with the axe. Okay. So it's axe. Something happens, then I'm switching and going in, and I feel like they got it in the beginning. It, like you're saying, it felt very unnatural switching. It felt different to even switching in the last game. But I feel like they might have tightened it up. But you have to get to a certain maybe part in the game, or maybe you have to have played a certain amount of time and really understand how the animations work. Because even with them adding the blue parry, like it's like the timing for that is different for the timing for the yellow parry and for the unblockable moves. So they really advanced combat. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like they've done it so super legit, and I love it, man. Fire.
Even just like the introduction with the spear. Like, it changed my whole playstyle again, because obviously I do, like, a range of everything. I do, like, fisted combos. I do, the axe, the blaze of chaos. I don't know why it sounds so weird.
Blaze of chaos.
And then obviously the spear as well. So even usually I would, like, throw the spear, throw about God knows how many of them, explode them. They'll be, like, juggling in the air. Then I'd run to them. By that point, I'm either having the blaze of chaos or the axe, comboing them, change them mid-air, and then do like a runic or something, bro. By that time, like
everyone's dead.
And it just felt so like it never felt like I was just like, I just want to keep on doing this. And man, like for me, the combat is just so amazing.
I think one of the things about God of War that like makes me love it so much is it's like I complain about this with games all the time. Like you never feel as strong as the person you're fighting. In God of War, you feel as strong as the enemies. Do you know what I'm saying? You have as many moves as them. You have as many unblockables as them. Do you know what I'm saying? And I just love that about the game. And it's something that like I won't get over because it's so rare to have in a game. Do you know what I'm saying? And the games that do have it are games like maybe like The Last of Us, where it's hyper realistic. So I like that God of War take a supernatural game, supernatural elements, and they're like, yo, boom, you got everything. Your life's as long as your bad guys. Your rage is as long as the bad guys. You got as many moves as the bad guys. Go crazy, fam. So I love it, man. And the accessibility of the game in terms of anyone can play it. Do you know what I'm saying? I love that as well, man. I love that they really took time and detail into doing that and letting you fully customize your controls, letting you roll plus, pick up plus, all of these things, but I love that, and I think more games need to lean that way.
I also like the I think you touched on it briefly. Like for me, obviously I'm always like more of a challenge kind of guy. So even at high difficulties, I still want to try give me God of War mode, but I feel like hard is like still like a good enough challenge. I want to say, how can I put this? Basically, it's a good enough challenge. I feel like at one point though, it would get like a bit too easy, but I think that's with any game when you're at a certain point, like it's just gonna be like walking apart unless it's a boss. I feel like the enemies, because they have levels, and I don't think they scale with you.
They don't. The levels don't scale with you. So the enemy levels are whatever the level is. At the time. But what I do like about is that the indicators about the level. So like if you're fighting an enemy that's the same level as you, I think its life bar's green. And then
same level.
It's the same level. It's green, and then I think if it's like one level above you, it might be yellow, and then if it's 2 levels above you, it's red. Or red or purple or something like that. So they do, like, and it just goes back to accessibility, bro. They give you visual cues for everything in the game, but at the same time, I love the fact that you can just turn that off. And I turn that stuff off because I just want to fight. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to know, like, yo, this guy's down. Do you know what I'm saying? And where I think in the early game, I was playing as almost like a stun build, like, yo, I'm stunning everyone. Therefore, I don't even need to know how much life you've got because I'm waiting for the R3 and then going in like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just like I said, I love that you can do so much with it and how they've made it open for everyone to play. So fire, man.
Yeah, man, just a legit game all around. Like, it is hard to find negatives in the game, but they're definitely there.
No,
like,
I
Go
definitely do have some negatives in the game. One of the, like, I think evading at times is weird. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's like if an enemy gets you in certain moves, it's, I want to say, damn near impossible to get out of without evading the whole thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
What's wrong with that?
Bruv, because it's like you come with a move, it immobilizes you,
Yeah.
and then the next moves are unblockable that you can't get out of the way of.
Yeah. Soon go into touch with the first move.
Nah, bro, you gotta give me another chance. I need.
Why?
There should be another chance because it's an unblockable. So let's say he misses it, he's gonna do the unblockable anyway.
Yeah.
So I have to get out of the way of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
But if you hit me with a move that then immobilizes me, and then I've got to get hit with an unblockable, it's almost like you can't do that.
So yeah, it's an instant death for you. Shouldn't have got caught in the first.
Nah,
time.
but that's what I'm saying. You can't do that to the enemy. And where I'm talking,
you can't do that to Kratos.
Yes, and this is what I'm saying. This is where what I was talking about before is you can do everything the villains can do and the best bosses can do. I only don't like that because that's something you can't do to them.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? And I think, and I know it'd be very tough to put that in the game, but I think you at this point that's the next stage for these lot where it's like, all right, look, I've got a move. What can freeze man, and then there's no way that he can get out of my unblockable coming next. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I would like that as Kratos as well, if you get what I'm saying, and not take away this much damage. Bro.
Well,
you can put man in a combo that takes a chunk, but you can't just inflict crazy damage on the enemy. Like, and even if you can only do it once a boss fight or something like that, someone might be like, oh, that's what you got your rage for. But if I could harness all of my rage into one axe swipe that takes